Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on chumbacasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at chumbacasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's chumbacasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on chumbacasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at chumbacasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's chumbacasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
In 12th century England, two kids wandered out of the woods and into a field. That's weird enough, kind of. But they also had green skin. Like actually green. They didn't speak English, they wore clothes no one recognized, and according to them, they came from a land where the sun didn't shine. This is the story of the Green Children of Woolpit, and to this day, no one really knows exactly who they were or where they came from. It's harvest season in the tiny village of Woolpit, Suffolk, somewhere around the mid-1100s. Picture a medieval farming town with dirt roads, wooden carts, and a bunch of locals just trying to get through the day without dying of the plague or getting trampled by a cow. I don't know the kinds of things that happened to kill you back then, but it was pretty basic stuff. The kind of place where nothing interesting really happens until it does. A group of farmers are out in the fields gathering crops when they spot something strange. Two small children standing near the edge of one of the village's wolf pits. And no, that's not some poetic metaphor. Woolpit literally had pits dug into the ground to trap wolves, because wolves were a thing. And apparently so were kids randomly showing up beside ancient death traps. Now, at first glance, these two kids didn't look like they belonged. Their clothes were wrong, made of unfamiliar fabric, cut in strange styles no one in Woolpit recognizes. They're not speaking. They're not clinging to each other. And they look completely disoriented, like they just fell out of a dream they weren't supposed to be in. But the part that really sends this story into WTF territory, their skin. It's green. Like, actually green, not pale, not olive-toned. Green. Elphaba green. Shrek green. Kermit the... Okay, you get the point. They've got green skin. Naturally, the villagers are like, what are we even looking at here? Are these forest spirits? Did I drink too much? Is someone filming a prank we don't understand because YouTube hasn't been invented yet? But to their credits, they didn't run the kids off. They didn't throw them in the pit. They bring them into town and try to help them. Kindness in the age of leeches and bloodletting? Honestly, kind of impressive. They offer the kids food, probably bread, maybe some cheese, possibly something pickled and tragic. Then kids refuse. Everything. Bread? No. Meat? Nope. Fruit? Not even a nibble. It's like they've never seen real food before. Days go by, and the children are clearly starving. That's when someone offers them raw broad beans, still in the pods. And suddenly, it's like someone handed them a lifeline. They tear into these beans like animals, like it's the first thing that's made sense to them since they arrived. For a while, that's all they eat, just raw beans. No salt, no boiling, no seasoning, like white people cooking chicken. Eventually, their appetite expands. They try other foods. As they do, something else changes. The green hue of their skin starts to fade. Gradually, slowly but noticeably, it's like their bodies are returning to something more familiar, more human. But the story doesn't stay warm and fuzzy very long. The boy, the younger of the two, starts to get sick. Whether it was the trauma, the malnutrition, or something else entirely, we'll never really know. He doesn't recover. He dies a short time after being baptized, which in medieval terms was a full welcome package. Baptism, burial, mystery unresolved. The girl survives, however. She grows stronger, learns the language, starts to adapt to this new world she found herself in. And when she finally begins to speak in words the villagers can understand, her story makes the green skin, the weird beans, and the wolf pit look like the normal part. She says she and her brother came from a place called St. Martin's Land, which, okay, not exactly on any map we have access to, but she doesn't describe it like a neighboring village or a town on the hill. She talks about it like it's a different realm entirely. In St. Martin's Land, the sun never really shines. The sky isn't dark, exactly, but it's never light either. It's like that in-between color just before dawn or right after sunset, a perpetual dimness that never fully brightens or fades. And everything there, everything, has a green tint to it. The plants, the water, the people. Imagine living inside a half-charged glow stick, and you're probably getting close. She says they lived there peacefully, like normal kids, if your definition of normal includes green sheep and twilight landscapes. Their dad was a herdsman. They helped him tend to the flock. Classic medieval chores, but make it interdimensional. One day, while they were out with the animals, they heard the sound of bells, big bells, echoing in the distance. And something about that sound pulled them in, like it was calling to them from somewhere. Like it wasn't just noise, it was direction. They followed the sound to what she described as a kind of cave or tunnel. She's not super clear on what it was, but they stepped inside and started walking, and walking, and walking, down through the darkness with only the sound of those bells to guide them. They don't know how long they were in there. Could have been hours, could have been days. Time works differently in stories like this, but eventually they came out on the other side, blinking in the sunlight, terrified, standing at the edge of a field in a place they did not recognize. That place was Woolpit. To them, it was like stepping into an alien world. The sun was blinding. The colors were all wrong. The language, completely unfamiliar. The people weren't green. There were no wolf pits where they came from, just dim skies and green-tinted everything. And now they were stuck here, no way back, no sign of the tunnel that they'd come from. Just two strange kids in a strange land with no explanation beyond, we followed the sound of bells and here we are. And honestly, it feels right for a story that starts with green children and only gets weirder from there. Now, this isn't just some random folklore passed around at the local pub. Two respected medieval historians recorded this story. One was Ralph of Coggeshall, an abbot who said he heard the story directly from the knight who took the kids in, Sir Richard de Calney, and the other was William of Newburgh, a monk from Yorkshire who said their story was so widely told by trustworthy sources that he felt compelled to believe it. So this isn't one weird kid told a story once. It was documented, repeated, and preserved. That's when the theories started. Some people said they were fairy children, straight out of the folklore of the time, creatures from another realm who got lost between dimensions. And honestly, that story does sound a lot like every wandered into fairyland tale from Celtic mythology. Strange landscape, weird food rules, mysterious bells, all there. More recently, people have said aliens. Obviously, green skin, strange language, emerged from a cave. It's like Roswell with sheep. But then there's the historical theory, the grounded one. Some researchers think the children were actually Flemish immigrants or orphans fleeing violence in a nearby region. There was a battle nearby at the time. Flemish families were killed or driven out. It's possible these kids got separated, ended up in the woods, and lived on whatever they could find, like raw beans, which, hey, explains the diet. Their green skin could have been anemia. There's a condition where your skin turns slightly green from malnutrition, and once they got actual nutrients, their skin tone normalized, which tracks. Their language could have been Flemish. To rural English villagers, it might have sounded completely alien. In St. Martin's Land, there's a real place nearby called Fornham St. Martin, so it could have been a misheard or misunderstood reference. So yeah, the theory fits. It's plausible, logical, But then again, there's something unsettling about how calm that explanation feels. The girl, the one who survived, did what people tend to do after life throws something impossible at them. She adapted. She learned English, slowly at first, then fluently. She was baptized, given the name Agnes, and eventually married a man from King's Lynn, a town not far from Woolpit. Some researchers believe she married a government official named Richard Barr. So there are even records that suggest it's true, meaning this story, as bizarre as it is, might be tethered to an actual person who lived, loved, paid taxes, and maybe rolled their eyes every time someone asked her, "So you were really green?" She lived out the rest of her life like a totally normal person, which feels almost more surreal than the rest of the story. No cult following, no vanishing act, no sudden reappearance in a second dimension, just a woman with a past no one could fully explain and a future that kept quietly moving forward. But her story, that's what stayed behind. Today, if you go to Woolpit, you'll find a village sign with two small green children holding hands, etched right into the town's identity like they were always part of it. And in a way, they are. Their story has been retold for almost 900 years. It's been dissected by historians, written by poets, reimagined by sci-fi authors. It's a footnote in some places, a headline in others, and every version brings more questions than answers. Because that's the thing about good mysteries. The best ones don't beg to be solved. They dare you to live with the not knowing. And maybe that's why the Green Children have stuck around for so long. Not because we understand their story, but because we don't. Thanks for listening to this episode of 10-Minute Mystery. If you liked it, please be sure to hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps other curious minds find the show. And if you want stories, but with a darker vibe, check out my other podcast, 10-Minute Murder. Still brief and bingeable. See you next time.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.